Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we are here with the Upstate Racing League as they present the Sun Fun 101 presented by Race Replicas. And this is going to be an exciting time here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is KR Stolvis, and in the booth with me is none other than the highly esteemed, much sought after Mr. Kelly Dahl.
That's some pretty high praise from you.
What? Well, you know, I figure I gotta throw you a bone every once in a while.
Yeah, you gotta pump my tires a little bit.
I keep you coming around. Well, Kelly, we're at Myrtle Beach tonight. What kind of action should we expect out of this Upstate Racing League as they tackle another short track in this super late model?
I mean, every track's a short track with these guys, but I mean, Myrtle Beach is a fun track. You're going to see a lot of guys trying to get as low as possible, especially through turns 1 and 2. But at the same time, it is very risky going through 1 and 2 because instead of having a wall separating the pit exit and the racetrack, there's a painted line, and it's basically got almost like rocks down there. And you hit one of those, you can not only upset the car, but because these things are so low, you can probably damage that front splitter.
We have seen quite a few races here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. Throughout all the leagues we do tackle Myrtle Beach, I can't tell you time and time again, I've seen those turtle shells get hit by cars and just do absolute mayhem to all the cars as they hit it, lose grip, and just bounce up the track.
Yeah, I'm sure if we were running the new damage model, you'd probably hit it and rip a whole wheel off, but luckily for now, we're still on the old damage model on these cars, so really all they'll have to deal with is maybe a dent to the front end, and like you said, it'll definitely throwing that car out of control.
Well, our points championship standings look something like this. Bill Martin continuing to pull out in front of this field. Steph Marinac moves into second place. Steph has had an outstanding season as far as being able to come from adversity or overcome adversity. And, you know, as I look at these point standings there, Kelly, I see a lot of rookies who right now, if this was the cutoff for the chase, would have 3 drivers, all rookies, here in the chase. But we got a few races before that happens.
And it's not so much the rookies I'm kind of surprised about, it's the longtime veterans, because one of the things we switched over in this league this season from the limited late model, the super late model, and that's what a lot of these rookies came in for, is they came here to race the super late model, and they're super late model guys. A lot of these guys already in the league had to make the adjustment, and a lot of them definitely adjusted well, like Steph Marinac continuing his strong pace, same with Justin Fuller, who's having a fantastic season, though he did miss the race last week. And as well, Justin McDuff has been having a few good runs, including a race win, so some of these longtime veterans are running pretty well.
Well, as we get ready to go into qualifying, we're wrapping up the final 45 seconds here in practice. We will go to single car qualifying, and each driver will have 2 minutes to turn 2 laps, or 5 minutes. It's going to be quick. 2 laps. Minutes, 2 laps. Listen, I got my shoes on. I can't count right now.
Why do you have your shoes on? Are you not in your house?
I got my house slippers on. They're
Right,
actually,
that makes a bit more sense.
they're my sim racing shoes. 'Cause, you know, I still pretend I'm a race car driver.
Yeah, I just raced my socks, but to each their own.
Oh, well. Well, Kelly, we're getting ready to go into qualifying here as the drivers wrap up this practice session. And Myrtle Beach, as you mentioned earlier, fast lap is going to be down towards the bottom here in qualifying, and we're going to see how close they can get to those turtle shells in 1 and 2. Real quick, over under, who is going to hit those turtle shells and, you know, wipe out their qualifying? How many cars do you think?
Although definitely a couple. I was expecting you to say who's going to hit it first in the race, and it's like, oh, I don't know who's going to hit it first, but I know it's probably going to happen lap 1, turn 1. But who's going to hit it in qualifying? That's a good question. And we're probably going to see someone just try to push it just a little too far and catch one of those turtle shells.
Hugo Paquette in the 33 out on track, turning his first qualifying lap. 19 of Brian Jones crossing the start finish line. That 19 machine looking very sharp here tonight.
And another thing about those turtle shells is because the way this track is shaped and that first turn is shaped is you're going to see these guys kind of diamond the corner a little bit and then kind of come off at a bit of an angle. So you'll see through turn 1 they'll be way out wide, and then for turn 2 they'll cut way down. That's probably where we're going to see someone get below that line and hit those essentially boulders. Those things are not small.
Right now, the 5 is Scott Austin. He's going to bounce on those turtle shells as he's on his cool down lap. The 5 machine currently in 12th place. Right now, our pole sitter is the 75 of Mike Alexander. Brandon Otto in the 24 machine posting second quick for the moment. These drivers turning in qualifying times, and we got some heavy hitters at the top of the chart.
And some names you definitely expect to see up there, like Brandon Otto and Bill Martin. But look at Joe Schaefer and Mike Alexander putting us down some absolutely blazing lap times.
70 machine of Dylan Canova getting out as qualifying is going to wrap up before he can turn a lap. That means it is time to move into our Western Super Series heat races as I draw a blank on important things.
And heat races are brought to you by Western Super Series. They're fixed super late model league on Tuesday nights. They're brought to you by the people of Narrative Coffee Company.
Time to go through our best colorful creations starting lineup. The 98 of Chris Stump and the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre will make up row number 1.
Row number 2, we're going to see the 68 of Ty Cole on the inside, and on the outside, the 413 of Wayne McDuff.
Row 3 will be the 5 of Scott Austin and Brian Rogers Jr. on his outside.
Brett Bartels will be rolling off the inside of row 4 with Dylan Jones to his outside, and rounding out this 9-car field for the first heat will be the 70 of Dylan Canova.
Thank you very much, Beth, for your colorful creations and for getting us that starting lineup. Drivers here at Myrtle Beach will have 12 laps. Top 4 automatically advance into the main event from each heat race. We will have 2 heat races. Those drivers who have to go to the LCQ will all be vying for starting positions. Our count showing here that everyone will make the main event, so each position on track is important as it will help your qualifying, or I should say your starting positions for the main event here tonight. Chris Stump in the 98 machine waiting for his opportunity to get out on the throttle as the pace car's down and away. Kelly, why don't you take this first green flag for us?
Yeah, cars now starting to bunch up as they go through 3 and 4. Chris Stump ready to get on the throttle, and Jimmy McIntyre kind of leaning back a little bit, waiting for the green flag. Green flag will drop, and look at Stump getting a fantastic jump, as well as the 81. McIntyre was able to keep pace with him, but he's going to go way up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. That may allow that 68 to kind of get up near him, but now he actually will shut the door.
Side by side, the battle for second place with the 81 of McIntyre coming out ahead of that situation. The 81 machine looking very solid right now. The 68 of Ty Cole. Right now he is the leading rookie in this heat race. He's slotted into 3rd place here. Scott Austin right behind him in 5th.
Chris Stump already pulling out a great lead. And here comes Scott Austin getting right into the bumper of that 68 machine, starting to look for an opportunity to make the move and increase his starting position just a little bit. Oh, trouble a little bit further back in the field. Looked like we had Dylan Canova and Brian Jones maybe getting into the wall.
Looked like Dylan Canova got into the wall, upset Brett Bartels in the process. We stayed green, And now we have one up high. That is the 12 of Brian Rogers, and he is going straight to pit road.
It was actually Rogers that got into the wall earlier with Canova and Bartels, so that may have caused him some damage, which ended up bringing out this caution.
So the track is under its first caution here with 8 laps to go. 98 of Chris Stump has led all 4 completed laps here in heat race number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Rogers definitely had some damage from that earlier impact, and he was just trying to ride it out, but as soon as he got into turn 1, realized he couldn't really steer, so just got on the brakes, tried to get the car off the track as fast as possible, but unfortunately, as he came to a stop, it did throw the yellow.
Drivers are already starting to stack up for our restart. Lights are still on the pace car. Hopefully this will be a quick caution. We can get back to racing in a hurry here. Chris Stump running a unique paint scheme. On the hood is a fallen hero of NASCAR. We've recently lost Junior Johnson, and the 98 machine sporting Junior Johnson on his hood, along with the Midnight Moonshine logo on the side.
Yeah, Junior Johnson was one of the pioneers of stock car racing, was one of those moonshine runners that decided to start racing his car against the other moonshiners, and really was one of the guys that created this sport.
All right, lights should be going out on the pace car this time around. We get ready to go racing. Here again, we will have 4 laps to go in this first heat race.
And not much left in this heat, and these guys are going to be trying to go for every single position they can, so maybe we'll watch for a few of these guys to make an aggressive move, especially into the entry of turn 1 here on this restart.
We're gonna go on board with the 98 for this restart. Chris Stump getting into the restart zone and waste no time getting on the throttle as the green flag comes back out. Western Super Series heat race number 1 goes back green.
Oh, we got a car going around. Looks like Brian Rod. No, sorry, that is. Oh, I'm losing who that is. I'm trying to find
Brett Bartels in the 42.
It is Bartels. For some reason I was thinking it was a different driver. It is Bartels that ends up losing the race car, but he is going to be able to, for some reason, did not throw the caution, so we're going to stay green.
Green flag staying out. The 98 of Stump out front, opening up a bit of a gap over the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Meanwhile, it is 3 cars battling for second place. Ty Cole in the 68. Thought about peeking down to the inside. Now he's going to wash up high. That's going to allow the 5 of Scott Austin to make a move to the inside here. Ty Cole not giving up third place just yet. These two make contact in turns 3 and 4. Wayne McDuff going to get his nose into the 68 of Ty Cole, and the yellow flag will fly on the final lap, and that will do it for heat race number 1.
Yeah, I would take another look at that. Didn't look like they made contact on my end. Oh yeah, that was definitely a case of some unlucky netcode, as those cars were nowhere near each other. There was a ton of room between those 2 race cars, so that's unfortunate. Those guys were giving each other a lot of room and were racing respectfully, but iRacing decided to kind of throw a wrench in the plans here.
Well, that will do it. Chris Stump gonna win first heat race out of the box. Now it's time to set up for our second heat race of the night. And that being said, let's get straight into our best colorful creations starting lineup. Row number 1 will be the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse and the 71 of Jeremy Watkins.
Row number 2, we're going to see the 72 of Andy Lambert and the 88 of Matt McLean.
Row 3 will be the 90 of Matt Roll and the 1 of Jeremy Carpenter, with Rich French in the 91 machine and Brad Carpenter missing the call to the grid. That will make up heat race number 2.
It ends up being just a 7-car field for this heat race. Reminder, the top 4 will go on directly to the main event. The rest will go through the LCQ. Everyone will make the show though. The LCQ will only just decide the starting positions of the back half of the field.
Two parade laps here at Myrtle Beach. Drivers using this opportunity maybe to build a little bit of heat in their tires. Very nice night to go racing. Track temp sitting right at 84 degrees. A lot of grip to be had out there.
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about is the sun has gone down or is continuing to drop. And as that happens, this track will cool off and get a bit more grip into it. So that is something to keep in mind throughout the night.
Matthew Barkhouse in the 15, now in control of the field, working his way through 3 and 4 into the start zone. Green flag is out, and away we go for heat race number 2. Barkhouse on the inside, unchallenged into turn 1. The 72 of Andy Lambert gonna charge into second place. What an outstanding start he had, and now he is all over the back bumper of that 15 machine.
Yeah, it looks like he had tons of grip going into turns 1 and 2. He just shot ahead of Jeremy Watkins and then got right up to the bumper of Barkhouse. I think if Barkhouse wasn't there, he would have slung shot right past him. So, a fantastic drive from Lambert. He still looks like he's got a ton of speed.
Matt Roll in the 90 machine battling with the 88 of Matt McLean. That is a battle for the final transfer spot. At the moment, the 90 machine is ahead as he almost got into the turtle shells there. That 88 now going to try and slide down and shut the door on the 1 of Jeremy Carpenter.
And Carpenter now going to try to find a way around McLean. As McLean gets loose off of 4, he's going to lose it into the grass.
The 88 machine pointed the wrong direction, grabs a gear, gets rolling. We're going to stay green as Matthew Barkhouse and the 72 of Andy Lambert still running 1 and 2.
Yeah, I said Lambert had some speed. The unfortunate thing is speed is only one thing with racing. You've got to be able to find a way to pass, and here it's definitely going to be difficult, especially on fresh tires. And later on in the race, we may be able to see some guys work the outside, but right now with these short runs, you've got to find that inside line.
Jeremy Watkins in the 71 right now. He is in 3rd place. Got a comfortable 3rd place position right here. The 90 of Matt Roll really charging into the corner there. Matt looking like maybe he would like to have 3rd. Gonna have 6 more laps to go here in this second heat race.
And look how close these guys are getting down to that white line in turns 1 and 2. Guys got to be careful though. They hit one of those turtle shells, and that thing's going to kick them right into the wall in the exit of 2. So they've got to keep those left side tires on the racetrack and keep them from hitting those big bumps.
Top 4 remain unchanged for the moment. Matt McLean, the big loser in this heat race. He is now 7.8 seconds off the lead pack. But Matt Roll solidly in that final transfer spot. Jeremy Carpenter in the 1 machine has the 91 of Rich French right behind him. These two drivers need to find a little bit more speed or face the wrath of the LCQ.
Yeah, and while they all will make it into the race, I'm sure they want to make it through the heat instead of going all the way to the LCQ, as the LCQ has the kind of the chance of maybe running into some bad luck and starting all the way to the tail end of this field. So it's definitely a better chance of doing well in the race if you win or come in a transfer position in the heat.
The 15 machine of Barkhouse, your sole leader for heat race number 2, brought to you by the Western Super Series. That 15 machine going to see the white flag this time. Final lap for heat race number 2.
And it looks like Barkhouse is going to be completely uncontested. Roll took a look at Jeremy Watkins back there for third place, but didn't have the track position to be able to make a move. So your top final four for this heat, Barkhouse crossed the line in first, followed by Andy Lambert, Jeremy Watkins over Matt Roll.
Two heat races done and finished. Matthew Barkhouse and Chris Stump winning those heat races. Now we roll into our LCQ. We're going to have, it looks like, 9 cars, maybe 8 if Brad Carpenter can make it out there to start this LCQ on the front row for this LCQ. Starting lineup brought to you by Best Colorful Creations. Brian Jones in the 19, Jeremy Carpenter in the 1.
Second row, we're going to see Ty Cole and Rich French.
Row 3 will be the 42 of Brett Bartels and the 88 of Matt McLean.
Rolling off in 7th is going to be the 70 of Dylan Canova. Brad Carpenter will miss the start, and it looks like Brian Rogers Jr. will end up having to slot in behind Canova.
So 8 cars for the LCQ. As we've mentioned, all the drivers are going to make it in. This is just going to set the final few spots for tonight's main event. That being the Sun Fun 101, presented by Race Replicas. Lights out on the pace car. Kelly, you do such a good job. Why don't you take us through this green flag?
Well, still a long ways to go for this field, with Brian Jones leading them on the inside. Going to be coming down this back straightaway. The only straight on this track is this the front straight is not quite a tri-oval, but definitely not straight. So now coming around turns 3 and 4, Brian Jones just waiting for that green flag to roll off this field. Green flag in the air, coming out almost a little bit early there and caught almost the whole field off guard. Brian Jones misses a gear and stacks up that inside line, and he's dropped all the way back.
Then that 19 machine just did not get rolling, and that is going to give the lead to the 1 of Jeremy Watkins, but that doesn't last long as the 91 of Rich French charges to the front of the field.
Yeah, something's wrong with that number 1 machine. He's gone way up the track and dropped all the way to the back, so I don't know what's going on with the 19 and the 1, but both of them are encountering some early troubles and go all the way to the back of the field.
LCQ going to be just 15 laps, and the 91 machine of Rich French in control of it. Meanwhile, there's 2 cars battling for second place. That is the 88 of Matt McLean and the 70 of Dylan Canova. Canova trying to use that high line for the first time tonight. We might see that work. That 70 machine battling for second place at the line. He has it, just not quite able to clear the 88 just yet.
And look at that exit speed he's able to get off of turn 2, and that will get him clear now. And he's going to stay up there, though. It looks like he's feeling a little bit more comfortable kind of running that second lane, and nearly gets up into the wall off of 4, but still some great speed being shown by Canova, and that's really the line he needs to run to make a pass, it seems. But looks like Matt McLean's starting to kind of counterattack here and get into the inside of Canova. However, with Rich French in front of him, he's not going to really be able to complete a pass over Canova, as now Canova's got his nose halfway up 91 machine.
70 working that high lane, the 88 and the 91 down on the bottom. 91 got loose off of turn 2. That's going to allow the 70 of Canova to go into turn 3 with the race lead. And now Dylan Canova going to try and set sail here in this LCQ.
Yeah, it looked like Matt McLean had to get on the brakes to avoid getting the back end of that 91 machine as he got loose, and I think they may have made contact in the next corner. Now it looks like McLean's going to see if he can pull off what Canova did. He was looking at the high line, now going to cross him over off the corner, not going to get it. He makes contact with the 91, big spin, and the caution comes out.
Rich French in the 91, pointing in an awkward direction, but grabs the gear, lights the tires up, and gets rolling. And we're gonna step to our turn 3 instant replay here. This all happened on the front stretch, the 91 and the 88 battling for position, and it looked like French maybe got a little bit of a bump by the 88, not knowing quite where Matt McLean was.
Yeah, I think maybe McLean was expecting French to track out a little bit further towards the wall like Canova was up in front of him, so maybe he wasn't expecting that 91 machine to be that close to his right side as they went down the front straightaway.
That is going to move the 42 of Brett Bartels into second place. Third will be the 68 of Ty Cole, with Ryan Rogers Jr. into fourth.
Yeah, that spin definitely shuffled around this field a little bit as these guys are still trying to get into line, waiting for the pace car to turn its lights off. And it is going to allow, actually will allow Carpenter to go ahead of Jones. So now Carpenter going to be, actually Jones now, oh sorry, I'm getting a little bit mixed up here. Jones is still on pit road after having issues on the start of this race. I think he may have come down pit road to try to figure out what was wrong, because we saw him on the initial start not able to get up to speed. I don't know if it was maybe missing a gear, but now that he's in pit road, it's making me think that possibly it was a shifter problem he might be having.
So issues for the 19 machine. 7 cars out on track for this LCQ. Right now our race leader is the 70 of Dylan Canova, and I have a feeling that this race isn't going to go back green. Very strong feeling.
Yeah, that's looking like that might be the case here, as we're going to come around and collect the white flag this time. It looks like this race will end under caution and Dylan Canova will win the LCQ.
Dylan Canova, your winner. Brett Bartels second. Third, going to the 68 of Ty Cole. Ryan Rogers bringing it home fourth. Matt McLean will be fifth. Jeremy Carpenter in the 1 machine ending up sixth. Rich French will be seventh. And Brian Jones, who started on pole but can never get out of first gear, will finish this one in the pits.
He had a fairly strong first heat as well, just kind of encountering a little problem, just coming up just a little bit short of transferring in off the heat. So definitely a rough turn for him.
All right, guys, it has moved on to the warm-up for the main event. That means it's time to step away for just a minute. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
I remember what it was like to have nothing, to wonder when my next meal would be. A lot has changed since then, but no matter what my accomplishments, I always remember where I came from. Jinky and I have always felt like it was our duty and have done our best to give back. But we want to do even more. We want to build more homes, build hospitals, provide scholarship, and expand our efforts into other countries. We don't want to just give people money. We want to give them a better life. That is why we're recruiting you to come alongside and change lives, one investment at a time. There is strength in numbers, and we can do so much more with your help. Think about the difference we can make if everyone does something. Join us as we strive to fight for those less fortunate and spread hope around the world. Thank you.
Welcome back to Turn 3 Racing Network as warm-up continues for the Sun Fun 101 presented by Race Replicas. As these drivers do their warm-ups, we're going to step away once again for our national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back to Myrtle Beach, where we just finished our fantastic national anthems. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank our title sponsor, Verge Currency. Verge is a cryptocurrency designed for people and for everyday use. It improves upon the original Bitcoin blockchain and aims to fulfill its initial purpose of providing individuals and businesses with a fast, efficient, and decentralized way of making direct transactions while maintaining your privacy. Now, KR, you're going to be moving on to the race here shortly, and what are you kind of expecting to see from this?
Well, tonight's race is going to be a battle of cars trying to fight down to the bottom. However, what we saw out of the 70 of Dylan Canova in the LCQ could be the curveball. At some point, someone is going to try and venture up to the high side. When that happens, it is going to really open up maybe the eyes of the other drivers who are just waiting to make the second move up there. Maybe not the first move, but maybe the second move.
Yeah, I think the big thing is going to be keeping the car off the wall through out of 2 and out of 4, because you've seen a couple of cars get up there and a couple of those cars get into that wall as well. So that's going to be a huge factor in this race, is trying to keep that thing clean.
Our track facts fueled by Verge for Myrtle Beach Speedway. Matt Coker won the only 2 visits that the Pro Series has been to here at Myrtle Beach, so we will have a new winner, first time ever. And the top 12 have been inverted for the feature for our main event. That being said, Kelly, it is time to go through our starting lineup for our main event. The 33 of Hugo Paquette and the 18 of A.J. Hamill will make up row number 1.
Row number 2, we're going to see the 96 of Al Smith Jr. and the 20 of Justin McDuff.
Row 3 will be the 39 of Bill Martin and the 24 of Brandon Otto.
Row 4, we've got Joe Schaefer on the inside and Mike Alexander on the out.
Row 5, the 11 of Brian Hacker and the 2 of Steph Marinac.
Row 6, we see the 98 of Chris Stump and the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse.
Row 7, the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre and the 72 of Andy Lambert.
Row 8, we got the 5 of Scott Austin and the 71 of Jeremy Watkins.
Row 9, the 413 of Wayne McDuff and the 90 of Matt Roll.
Row 10, we'll see the 70 of Dylan Canova and the 42 of Brett Bartels.
Row 11, the 68 of Ty Cole and the 12 of Brian Rogers, who is our Rookie of the Year sponsor.
Row 12, we got Matt McLean and the 91 of Rich French, who I believe has actually called it a night here, along with Brian Jones. That leaves Jeremy Carpenter as our last car on the field. Officially scored starting 25th, but after everything's all said and done, he will be moving up just a little bit for this start.
Lights are out on the Ford Mustang, getting ready to peel off the racetrack. That is going to leave the 33 of Hugo Paquette in control of this field. The 96 of Al Smith right behind him. One of the better starting positions for that 96 machine all season long. As here we go. The Sun Fun 101 is green flag racing.
A.J. Hamill getting a great start, keeping even with Paquette all the way to the entrance of turn 1. Now using that extra grip on that high side to still keep even with him down that back straightaway. So A.J. Hamill not wanting to give up the fight early on, try to pin in that 33 on the bottom so he can't get a good track exit or corner exit and track out there. So he is getting pinned all the way on the bottom of that racetrack, now trying to kind of diamond that turn 2 there and get a better launch off the corner, but still A.J. Hamill continuing that speed on the high side.
Hamill out front for the moment. Looks like he got into the wall just a little bit there. That is going to slow him down, allow the 33 of Hugo to charge right back into it.
Oh, now getting into the side of Hugo Paquette and having to lift there as he got loose off of turn 2, and now he is going to slot into second place. But here comes Justin McDuff trying to see if he can make the high side work.
We go on board, looking out the back of Hugo Paquette. And now out the front as this 33 machine has clean track. He is working his way now down into 3 and 4 here. And, you know, these super late model cars, very tricky to get all the power down on to the pavement, and that 33 machine doing a mighty fine job right now.
Yeah, something we're going to have to watch later on this race is a little bit back in the field. Bill Martin making a bit of a mistake in turn 2 and having to check up, and that's going to cost him a couple of spots and a little bit of time on the track. And however, he is going to be the guy that I'd count on to be able to turn this around. Oh, actually, never mind. He curses. The commentator comes out. He gets a shot to the back, goes up the racetrack. Caution is out as he collected another driver. It looks like the 75.
Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and figure out what happened here. Mike Alexander in the 75 machine on the outside of the 39 of Bill Martin. Drivers head down into the corner, and it was the 11 of Brian Hacker who got into the 39, and then the 75, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the blame about that one. I was talking about how Bill Martin would be a guy that would be able to recover from that mistake he just had, and then ends up getting put into the wall. So definitely a tough situation for that 39 machine.
So Bill Martin on to pit road. Still a lot of racing here to go at Myrtle Beach. Give you a moment to hammer out that damage and then get back out there with plenty of time to recover.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, just hammer out damage. That's all they're allowed to do. They are not allowed to change tires here, so they can get a little bit of extra fuel if they don't think they can make the whole 101 laps. They can hammer out some damage, but they can't take any fresh tires. So tires they start on, the tires they have to finish on.
So the 33 and the 18 gonna go at it once again for this restart. We'll see if AJ Hamill can hold on to that outside lane. That was a very tough opening set of laps for the 18. Did an excellent job on that outside lane and almost made it work. I think if he hadn't have brushed the wall coming off of turn 4, he might have had the position.
And I'm looking at his car right now, and I'm not seeing any damage. So it does seem like he, at least if he hit the wall, he hit the wall gently. So looks like that 18 machine might still be able to bring the fight to the 33.
Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Austin Designs. You can find Austin Designs on Facebook if you are in the market for a wonderful iRacing paint scheme.
And tonight's race, the Sun Fun 101, is brought to you by Race Replicas, the official diecast supplier of the URL. Kenny can make a replica of your iRacing ride. He also does other custom designs for your diecast. So if you're wanting to check that out, hit up midsouth.racing.com.
Green flag flies again as the 33 of Hugo Paquette this time doesn't have to worry about going at the same time. That allowed him to get a big jump, taking over the top spot. AJ Hamill in the 18 having a rough go on this restart. He is now falling to third place. That is allowing the 20 of Justin McDuff to move into second.
And we saw him get loose a couple times earlier. He may have scrubbed off a little bit of speed on those tires, so he may be struggling for grip while these other guys back here are taking care of their tires a little bit more. But at the same time, he's making his car as wide as possible. Here comes Otto trying to see if he can take a look at the inside. He's going to get that door slammed shut by Hamill. Now trying to see if he can get anything off of turn 2. Is just behind them. We've got Al Smith and Joe Schaefer battling for position. Oh, and the 18 gets loose.
The 18 finding trouble. The 24, Brandon Otto, gonna finish off the 18, and the 98 of Chris Stump gets collected. So does the 70 of Dylan Canova.
Canova is not getting much luck here tonight as he's been involved in a couple incidents, and I don't think either one of them were his fault. So really just some bad luck for that 70 machine.
We go on board for our replay. You see the 18 get loose, the 24 trying to stay off of him. And then nowhere to go for the 70 machine.
Yeah, I don't know if he got a little help there going into turn 3. That 24 might have given him a little bit of a shot to the bumper. So we'll have to see who's going to claim that one. It looks like Otto will say that it was his fault, so it does seem like Brandon Otto got into the rear end of that 18 machine and helped him around.
All right, guys, under caution, we're going to step away for a minute. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the pace car peels off, we get ready to go racing once again. This time the 33 has a new challenger on his outside. Hugo Paquette versus Justin McDuff. Green flag is out and we are back underway. And McDuff going to try and protect that inside lane before it's too late. But Joe Schaefer in the 6 machine gonna fill that inside lane. And now the 6 gonna battle for second place.
And just behind them, look at the 2 of Steph Marinac, kind of just weaving back and forth between the 2, trying to find a gap. He's fast and he knows it. He's just looking for a little bit of open racetrack to use that speed. And still the 6 and the 20 side by side, essentially blocking off Marinac from chasing down Paquette. But at the same time, Paquette's not opening up a gap. Usually when cars are side by side like this, the guy without the battle is able to move ahead. But now the 20 of Justin McDuff able to get ahead of Schaefer that time on the straightaway, but coming through the corner, they kind of evened up there.
Schaefer in the 3rd place. Marinac challenging on the outside. The outside lane really starting to show a little bit of speed here as McDuff able to hang tough out there. Joe Schaefer in the 6th staying down on the inside, unable to gain any ground.
Yeah, we were thinking earlier tonight that the inside line was going to be the place to be, but now it's starting to look like the outside is. These guys are getting a lot of grip in that middle lane and able to just run off the corner so much better, and that's allowing them to just get the better straight line speed on these straightaways. So it may be that this middle lane is the place to be tonight.
On board with the boss man himself, Al Smith Jr. in the 96. He's got an excellent view to the battle that's taking place in front of him. And that 6 machine of Joe Schaefer in danger of maybe losing another spot here as everyone is able to use that upper bottom middle lane.
Oh, wreck in the back. Looks like Scott Austin is sideways. Scott Austin and Matthew Barkhouse get together in turn 4, and that brings out another caution here tonight.
15 and the 5 finding trouble coming off of turn number 4. Go to our turn 3 instant replay, see how this all shapes up. 15 and 5 running nose to tail down the backstretch. Barkhouse down to the inside, gives a little tap to the 5 of Scott Austin, and around they both go. Well, around the 5 goes. The 15 trying to slow down and keep it off of him. Had no other option.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either one got into the wall, so these guys should at least have clean race cars for the most part and keep going here. So that is the good thing, but both of them really dropped far back in the field. I think they both end up getting tossed all the way to the back. However, we've got a number of cars down pit road to kind of hammer out some damage they got earlier. That includes that 75 of Mike Alexander, who still has some heavy damage on that right front.
One car getting the wave around. That is the 70 of Dylan Canova.
And that'll put Canova back onto the lead lap, however, in 23rd place. So a long ways to go for Canova. Actually, it seems like he's now moved up to 21st as he passes a couple of cars that are on pit road. So Canova's still way back in the field, but now that he's on the lead lap, he does have a chance.
That will leave Bill Martin in the 39 machine 2 laps down. The Bill Martin come into tonight's race as the points leader. Was, I believe, as we look at our point standings here, 129 points to the good of the chase cutoff. So maybe a throwaway race here for Bill. Not something that he would like to do, but when you got a cushion like that, you can be a little flippant with your points.
Yeah, Bill Martin is pretty much in the chase at this point, as we're already through essentially halfway through this regular season. So he's hit a fantastic spot. I'm sure he can afford having a bad race once in a while, but I'm sure that 39 machine would wish that he's in a better position than he is right now, but did encounter some trouble early on in this race. It was involved in the very first wreck, I believe it was, and now that 39 machine is 2 laps down.
'33 and the 20 gonna restart once again on the front row. Row number 2 will be the 2 of Steph Marinac and the 6 of Joe Schaefer. This time Joe's gonna have the outside lane. We'll see if Marinac can do something with that inside lane. He's got to time this restart right. Got to guess exactly when the 33 of Hugo's gonna get on the throttle.
And that's what the advantage of the first place sitter on these restarts is he gets to choose when to fire. And now when they get close to their restart zone, we'll see if that 20 will be able to guess. There goes that 33 machine, and a decent start from the 20 of McDuff. However, right behind them, Marinac not getting on the throttle right away, and that's going to allow that 6 of Joe Schaefer to now maybe put a bit of pressure on that 2 machine. But actually, some fantastic driving from Marinac. He carried a lot of speed to the inside line of turns 1 and 2 there.
Steph Marinac showing some speed and toughness here on the inside lane. Joe Schaefer was unable to make that inside lane work when he had to restart there. And the 2 of Steph Marinac gonna slide in front of the 6 as Schaefer got in the wall coming off a 2.
Now we're seeing Justin McDuff creeping ever closer to that 33 machine, and now he sees the 2 of Marinac behind him, so I'm sure he's feeling the pressure to try to pass that 33 before Marinac tries to make a move on him, as Marinac's getting even closer to that 20. You've kind of got a 3-way battle for the lead starting to shape up.
Wayne McDuff and Brian Hacker have been going at it for the 7th place. And we did see the 42 of Brett Partells catch one of those turtle shells as the 68 of Ty Cole's going to run over him. Upsets his car, but he keeps it straight. We stay green. Brian Hacker in the 11 machine moves into 7th place.
Now battle for 2nd place shaping up as that 2 is peeking to the inside of the 20. He's been attempting it a couple of corners now, but can't quite get the track position away from the 20 as McDuff just carries much better speed off of the corner, especially working in that middle lane the way he is. So now it's starting, as we mentioned, we were expecting a lot of these guys to kind of hug the bottom line, but it seems to be that's only the case off of 2 when they kind of diamond that corner. So really that middle lane is you're able to carry so much more speed off the corner, and that's really giving the advantage here tonight. Is now Steph Marinac, after backing off the 20 a little bit, now starting to come under pressure from the 6 Joe Schaefer.
Top 6 cars all running nose to tail. Brian Hacker in the 11 trying to make it 7 cars. He is closing in on that. Meanwhile, behind Brian Hacker, we do have a lot of side-by-side racing action going on. That is the 88 of Matt McLean and the 68 of Ty Cole. And the 88 of McLean going to slide up in front of the 68 there. Matt McLean in 12th place, the 13th spot going to Ty Cole. But here comes Brandon Otto on the inside of the 68.
Yeah, we were talking about the 39 being 2 laps down. Look at him working his way through the field. It almost seems like he wants to earn a lap back, or at the very least not be stuck behind some of these cars that may be lapped later on if we have a long run. So Bill Martin weaving the field, maybe showing that if he gets a couple of cautions, he might be able, and a couple of lucky dogs, kind of showing that maybe he'll be able to come back around here. Oh, he actually gets into the 72 machine, but that driver will hold on to it. Good save by Andy Lambert. However, that is going to cost him a few positions.
Yeah, Andy Lambert got into those turtle shells, and it bounced him up into Bill Martin. And now the 5 of Scott Austin and Andy Lambert are going to make contact down the front stretch. Scott Austin back in behind the 75 machine of Mike Alexander. That is 18th, 19th, and 20th place.
Looking back up at the front of the field, Marinac making another look to the inside of McDuff, almost getting onto those turtle shells in the inside of turn 2 there, but able to keep it on the racetrack. Look how close these first 3 are running. Oh, caution is going to come out on their track here.
72 of Andy Lambert pointed to the inside wall, not how he wants to be as he tries to get it rolling before getting passed by the leaders. He gets that 72 righted and back under power. So let's go to our turn 3 instant replay, figure out what happened to Andy Lambert. 75 on his inside, Scott Austin in the 5 machine. Coming up off of turn number 2, slight contact, and it is enough to point the 72 to that inside wall.
Yeah, he was able to make a good save last time he made contact with someone, but not that time. Now looks like Dylan Canova gonna get another lap back. He made a mistake earlier saying that he was on the lead lap last time. Looks like he was multiple laps down. Now it seems like maybe this time he'll get his lap back.
All right, guys, with that being said, we're going to step away and take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back.